Sophia stepped into the brightly lit luxury car dealership, her eyes scanning the rows of gleaming vehicles. She wore a simple beige dress, her hair tied back in a modest ponytail. Despite her understated appearance, she carried herself with quiet grace. Ethan, the dealership manager, barely glanced at her before smirking. He had seen countless women pretending to afford cars they could never buy. He sauntered over, his voice dripping with condescension. "Ma'am, are you sure you're in the right place? These cars aren't exactly budget-friendly." Sophia smiled politely. "I just wanted to look around." Ethan crossed his arms, exchanging a knowing glance with a sales associate. "Look around? Or waste our time?" Sophia's fingers tightened around her purse, but she maintained her composure. "I was actually considering buying something today." Rachel, standing near the showroom's entrance, watched the interaction unfold with a smirk. She had been Sophia's friend once, but envy had corroded their bond. Seeing her in this situation was nothing short of amusing. Ethan chuckled. "And how exactly were you planning to pay? A loan application? Or were you hoping for a pity discount?" The words stung, but Sophia refused to let them show. "I don't need financing." Ethan's laugh was louder this time. "Right. Of course you don't." His tone dripped with sarcasm. "Ma'am, we cater to serious buyers. Maybe a used car lot would be a better fit for you." Sophia took a deep breath. "I see." Without another word, she turned and walked out, her heart heavy but her pride intact. Behind her, Rachel whispered something to Ethan, and they both burst into quiet laughter, unaware that the next day would change everything. Rachel stirred her coffee, a sly smile playing on her lips as she glanced at Ethan across the table. "You really put her in her place," she mused. Ethan leaned back in his chair, a smirk stretching across his face. She had no business being there. Women like her think they can just walk in and belong. Rachel let out a soft chuckle. "I've been telling you. Sophia isn't what she seems. She's been living off Daniel's wealth, playing the humble wife act. But deep down, she's just like the rest." Ethan took a sip of his drink, nodding. "I don't buy the whole innocent act either. If she was really that simple, why would she even step foot in a place like that?" Rachel sighed dramatically. "Exactly. She wanted attention, wanted to see if she could fool people into thinking she belonged. You did the right thing by putting her in her place." Ethan's phone buzzed with a message, but he ignored it. He was too caught up in the satisfaction of the moment. And she really thought she could just walk in and buy something? I bet she's crying to Daniel now, hoping he'll throw some cash her way. Rachel twirled a strand of her hair around her finger. "Maybe, but you and I both know men like Daniel don't stay interested in women like her forever." Ethan raised an eyebrow. "You think he's getting bored of her?" Rachel shrugged, her eyes glinting with something unreadable. "All I'm saying is, people move on. And sometimes they realize they've been looking in the wrong places all along." Ethan studied her for a moment before grinning. "Well, if that day comes, I'd love to see the look on her face." Neither of them realized that karma had already begun to turn. The morning air was crisp, and the dealership buzzed with its usual routine. Ethan adjusted his tie, still riding the satisfaction of yesterday's encounter. He had almost forgotten about Sophia, until the sound of the luxury engine purred outside. Heads turned as a sleek black Rolls-Royce Phantom glided to a stop. The sheer presence of the vehicle commanded attention, its polished exterior reflecting the stunned faces of onlookers. Ethan straightened, his confidence faltering. A car like this wasn't just expensive, it was a statement. The driver stepped out and opened the door. Daniel emerged, his sharp suit perfectly tailored, his demeanor calm yet imposing. He didn't need to announce his authority. It radiated from him. And then, stepping out beside him, was Sophia. She wasn't dressed extravagantly, yet there was an effortless elegance about her. No humiliation, no bitterness, just quiet confidence. Ethan swallowed hard as Daniel walked toward him, his expression unreadable. "I hear my wife was here yesterday," Daniel said, his voice smooth but firm. Ethan felt his throat dry up. Yes, sir, but..." Daniel didn't let him finish. "And she was turned away?" His gaze was unwavering. Ethan forced a smile. "It was a misunderstanding. Daniel turned to the dealership owner, who had rushed forward, sweating. "I'd like to purchase a few vehicles today. A gift for my wife." Gasps rippled through the staff. Ethan's stomach twisted. Sophia finally spoke, her voice calm. "I only wanted a simple car, but I suppose kindness isn't a requirement here." Ethan felt the weight of every eye on him, shame creeping up his spine. He had underestimated the wrong woman. Silence hung in the air, thick with unspoken judgment. The dealership owner, desperate to salvage the situation, forced a nervous laugh. "Mr. Daniel, we deeply regret any inconvenience. Please allow us to make it right." Daniel's gaze flickered to Ethan, his expression still unreadable. "Inconvenience?" He let the words settle. "My wife was insulted in your establishment by your employee." Ethan shifted uncomfortably. His usual arrogance had drained away, leaving only a pit of regret. "Sir, Daniel cut him off with a glance. "People who judge others based on appearances have no place in customer service. I expect better from businesses I deal with." The owner nodded furiously. "Of course. Ethan, you're dismissed. Clean out your desk." A cold sweat broke out on Ethan's forehead. "Please, Daniel didn't even look at him. He turned to Sophia instead. "Shall we?" Sophia gave a small nod and walked toward the Rolls-Royce. She didn't gloat, didn't smirk, just carried herself with the quiet dignity she always had. Rachel, who had been watching from a distance, stepped forward in a panic. "Daniel, please, He didn't stop, didn't acknowledge her. Sophia paused for just a second, meeting Rachel's pleading gaze. No words were needed. They both knew. As the Rolls-Royce pulled away, Ethan stood frozen in place, his world crumbling around him. Rachel, too, felt the sting of her own downfall. Sophia looked out the window, a soft smile playing on her lips. Not because of revenge, but because dignity had done the job for her.